All right, back for more of the Argonaut Weekly. Rob Walden, along with women's soccer coach Joe Bartlinski. Season ended last weekend for the women's soccer team, a 2-2 draw with Tampa, but the Argonauts failed to advance. Tampa was the team that advanced 5-4 on penalty kicks. So the season ends for the Argonauts 17-2-2, 17 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws, which of course came in the final 2 matches of the season. Coach, I know it's not the way that you guys wanted this season to end last year, really the last 2 years, making it all the way to the National Final Four. To go out in the second round of the tournament wasn't exactly what you guys were hoping for, but still 17 victories to just 2 losses. It's a season that most teams can only dream of.
Yeah, and a conference championship and everything, and very proud of the gals when you graduate as many as we did this year, and weren't even supposed to be back in the playoffs.
Sure.
Many teams looking to schedule us last year and get us on their schedule, knowing that we graduated 8 or 9 starters.
Right.
To be back in this situation, second round of the national tournament, but to go 17-2-2, to be bitterly disappointed after that kind of season, it speaks highly of the program that we have here.
And to go as far as you guys did, losing as much as you did from last year, there's a lot of players that had to step up. Obviously, Shakira Duncan was fantastic. We'll talk about her in a moment. But you added Jody Robinson. She was fantastic. Monica Malavasi had a great season. Rachel Cutts. A lot of different players who were either new to the program or played reserve roles last year really filled the gap for you guys and turned it into a much better season than people expected.
And that's what makes it exciting going into next year. Pretty much everyone that played this season was not in the Final Four the last 2 years.
Right.
From Cutts to Tori Fish, who was injured, Jordan Stone, all these players now have a year of experience underneath their belt. And we do lose the 2 seniors, Noha and Shakira. Going to be tough to replace, but what a great learning experience this team has now. And with the talent that we have and the experience now, the youngsters are chomping at the bit to get back to the training ground. NCAA won't allow it right now.
Sure.
But we will get out there soon enough, and it's a hungry bunch now.
Let's talk about Shakira Duncan. Her career as an Argonaut is over, sad as that is to say. National Player of the Year last year, still waiting to see if she'll do it again. We know she was Regional Player of the Year this season. Just, talk about what kind of player she was. I mean, a fantastic goal scorer all the way around. In only 2 years, completely rewrote the record books at West Florida.
I think the best compliment she got was from the Tampa coach, Jerry Lucy, who has won a national championship, went to the Final Four with an undefeated Westchester from Pennsylvania. He's been around a couple places. So by far she's the best. She was the best D2 player he's ever seen. And again, he's been at several Final Fours, and he's been there in the trenches like most coaches, and he has seen the talent that she possesses, and it'll be a tremendous loss for the program. But we've lost other national players of the year in the past, and we've been able to continue the success. But unbelievably skilled player. Best player in D2, yes, but one of the best players in the country, period.
Sure. You mentioned the team wanting to get right back out to the training ground as soon as possible, and obviously they're going to have to wait a few weeks. NCAA rules mandate that. But, as a coaching staff, and for you in particular, when the season ends maybe a little bit sooner than you wanted it to, how much does that motivate you to hit the recruiting trail even harder, to bring in newer, fresher talent? Obviously, there aren't going to be a whole lot of starting spots open next year, but still, to bring in that next wave of talent, maybe find that next Shakira, that next Gordon, somebody like that.
Non-stop working. So the minute the season is over, you do follow up rapidly on players. And even Melissa on the volleyball got a text about an hour after her loss, asking advice about recruiting and trying to get another player in. But good programs, motivated coaches do that, and so that's kind of we're after it right now. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be hard to replace the players that we lose, but you do go after it very hard this time of year, and we'll see how where it goes. We've got some very good leads. Quietly, we're ready to replace 1 or 2 of the players, but just to have the returning players coming back is going to be huge next year.
Last time you and I talked, it was right around the time that Monica Malavasi and Danielle Cruz Mejia were playing for the Costa Rican national team. Obviously, they were eliminated by the United States a couple days after you and I talked. But those two play for Costa Rica at the highest level imaginable. You've got Jodie Ann Robinson, who's been capped 25 times or so for Canada at the highest level possible. Obviously, you want to bring in more players like that, but do you use players like that as kind of badges to attract other players to your squad to say, look, you can come to West Florida, yes, it's Division II, but look at these players that you're going to play with, and in the case of some other teams, these players that you're going to play against. Still very high-level competition.
We use every trick we can in recruiting, and having those kind of players in our program definitely speaks to the quality of the program. Having players drafted into the women's professional league helps, and so we use everything. Not only are we getting tremendous players that have the international experience, but even the local players, are contributing, and they see the success. And when you have freshmen, Caitlin Kudemeyer locally, and Alexis Guerin out of Orlando, they know the caliber of the program, and those players have to step up, and those kind of players have stepped up. But yeah, we use all the tricks in recruiting, all the legal tricks.
Coach, it's been a fun year. Make sure you stop by sometime. Let us know how the off-season's going.
Good. Excellent. Thank you, guys.
All right, 17-2-2 for women's soccer. It does end in the second round of the NCAA Regional, a penalty kick loss to Tampa. But like Coach said, 17 wins with a very inexperienced group. And, of course, that all-important Gulf South Conference Championship. Big off-season ahead of women's soccer. Of course, you can follow all their progress right here at GoArgos.com.